All right, guys, back again for episode 18. Nick is not available today. He has a family emergency, so I'm going to be conducting it. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Fantasy Stand. Go follow them on Instagram and sign up, and their link is in their Instagram bio to sign up for their fantasy sports. Today we have a very special guest, former professional boxer and also boxing promoter now, Jeter Promotions. We have
Ja-
Tony Jeter. Sorry, my God, I know I've been practicing it before we got on. Yeah, Jeter. He was 25-1 with
no,
14 knockouts in his professional career.
I was 20 wins, 5 losses, 1 draw.
25 and one draw. Okay, gotcha. And 14 knockouts. So Tony, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, dude. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm always excited to be able to get on a podcast and get my promotion out there.
Of course. Hold on one second. I have to hand a blanket over to somebody. Okay, here we go. All right. So to let people know, where are you from?
Maryland, PG County, Maryland. It's more towards the DC area.
Okay. And then what age did you start boxing at?
I was 16. I just
16.
turned. Yeah. No. I started
Okay.
at the Laurel Boys and Girls Club in Laurel, Maryland.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Yeah, it seems like that's like a trend with professional boxers too. I mean, like a lot of them start getting like I guess not like a youthful start for like some, but like we see a lot from ages like 14 to 16 and up get their first start in the boxing and all.
Yeah, I mean, at Fort, and I've there we have a trainer around here, Andrew Counselly Fall, Bernard Hopkins,
Oh, wow.
great trainer, and that is a trainer. And he put out there on Facebook one time, it's like, like kids that have winning silver titles at 8, 9, 10, and 11, they have all these fights, that's great. But boxing is, as a kid, you want to play baseball, you want to play football, and these kids have this early success when they're very young, but when they're 16, 17, they go and do something else. When I think 14, 15 is a really good age
Hmm.
to start boxing, because at that point you sort of know, you're a little bit older, you sort of have an idea what where you want to head. But at 8, 9, 10, you don't know if you want to play baseball, like football, basketball. There's so many other things, and you have these coaches. They put so much time into these fighters, years, and then they decide they want to go and play football or something. So it's tough. I think 14, 15, 16 is a good age to start, because at that point you're a little bit older and you're more focused on where you want to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that as well. So my next two questions, well, the first one's kind of a lot into one, just to show like that the boxers are human and all when they knew they were ready to go pro. So if you could talk about amateurs, your record, your achievements, and also when you knew you were ready to go pro.
Um, I was 84-16 as an amateur. I'm a 2-time open class Golden Glove champion. I won that in the DMV, Washington, D.C., Maryland,
Wow.
and Virginia area. When did I know I wanted to go pro? I mean, I wanted to, I wanted to go as far as I could to amateurs, and I made it to the nationals. I went to the Olympic Training Center in Marquette. So I did some really cool stuff in the amateurs. But, you know, I guess I got to a point where I was like, all right, like I'm getting a little bit older, because I turned pro at 25. So I was like, yeah, like I can't just keep fighting amateur. And I wanted to take it to the next level and see how pro boxing is, because I think as amateur athletes, you dream of fighting pro and winning titles and winning world titles, and can't do that as an amateur. I mean, you can win titles, but not world championship professional titles. And I think
Right.
that's everybody's dream in boxing, is to do that. I didn't actually make it to that point, but I won a couple regional titles, and I had some really good times. And I did well in boxing. for me not having I didn't have a promoter. I guess coming out, I signed with Sugar Ray Leonard, but I only had them for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so I don't mean to make you sound old, but your pro debut was when I was still in fourth grade. So, yeah. So your pro debut was January 25th, 2001 at Michael's 8th Street in Maryland versus Irvin Fuller.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to get inside your head for this fight. So what were your nerves like? Because obviously you had like, close or maybe over 100 amateur fights. So were you nervous at all, or was it everyday business going into your pro debut?
I was definitely nervous. I mean, it's different. I mean, you don't have the headgear on anymore. You have smaller gloves, bigger crowd. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into pro boxing. Michael's 8th Avenue was a phenomenal place. They had a bunch of high-level fighters fight there. Terrence Crawford, Andre.
Oh, wow.
Everybody fought there. It was like one of the biggest club shows in America. And they actually just closed the doors to Michael's 8th Avenue, I think the end of last year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was an iconic place, and they did fights there. I think they did 6 fights a year.
Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's cool, but I was definitely nervous.
Okay.
For sure.
And then I saw when I was like researching you and all. So I believe, I mean, like, of course, like I'm not into like Elias Sports Beer and stuff, but like I think you had like maybe one of the last fights at the Wells Fargo Center. I mean, like I'm shocked because like we have guys here like Danny Garcia that fought at like Temple University when he fought locally. We even had J Rock Julian Williams after he beat Jalen Hurd, fought at Temple as well. But you fought at the Wells Fargo Center, which holds like over 20,000 people. I mean, what was that like to fight at the Wells Fargo Center? And was that your first time ever fighting in Philly too?
It was. Yeah, it was definitely my first time fighting in Philly. I lost to a kid. That was my first pro loss. It was the ESPN2 fight. Thomas Tate fought Omar Shika. Maybe there was like 16,000 people there.
Wow, okay.
That's the Spectrum, right? It was the Spectrum.
So they have it listed as the Wells Fargo Center, but maybe it was at the Spectrum, so maybe BoxRec might mess it up. Like that's why I was like really like taken back when I was like, wow, they actually hosted live boxing at the Wells Fargo Center? That's cool. Okay. Yeah, because we used to have 2 arenas back in the day. So they built the Wells Fargo Center in '97, and they had the Spectrum still. So that's like where like the Philadelphia Phantoms played. And then they had like Philadelphia Kicks, indoor soccer and stuff. But they wound up knocking that down and making it an Xfinity Live now, which is like all these different bars inside the one now. Yeah.
I think I fought where the Sixers play. So
okay, so that was the Wells Fargo Center then. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
We were where the Sixers played, but yeah, it was cool. It really was, and the kid I fought was so good. I don't know whatever happened. You should do research. Kwame Bumpus.
Okay.
He was so good. Yeah, I mean, but now I heard I saw he had 7 fights and he just disappeared.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, really good fighter. You should do research on that to see whatever happened to that kid. But he was good, and it was a good experience. I mean, obviously, I took the L, big moment. I had Ricardo Williams, the silver medalist, in my dressing room. Bernard Hopkins had just beat Trinidad.
Yeah.
It was during the 9/11, so they actually moved the fight back because of 9/11. And Trent Hopkins had come into the dressing room. He was talking to all of us. It was really, really cool. It sucked that I took the L, but
right.
It was definitely a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's actually funny you said that because like I'm like a huge boxing junkie, so I actually watched it like Tuesday after work. I watched the Hopkins and Felix Trinidad fight on YouTube, and that was just pure dominance by B-Hop. I mean, like, it was sad to see a legend like Felix Trinidad definitely didn't have a chance in that fight, but I mean, it was still like an incredible performance by B-Hop and also to take him down too. Like that was crazy.
Yeah, I met Hopkins, I think, in '96 at the Blue Horizon.
Oh, a legendary venue. Okay.
This is how cool that guy was. So did you ever go to the Blue Horizon?
So unfortunately, I never did. So like my parents would only take me to like baseball events. So like the Phillies, but I wound up getting in the boxing, of course, because of Rocky and also the video game Fight Night and all. And then like ever since like probably high school, I started really getting in the boxing and all. Yeah, but I never made it to the Blue Horizon. I'm hoping one day someone just buys the property there and just revise it because I've been just reading and looking at pictures. It's unbelievable there.
Oh, so I go to these. So he was a world champion at that point. I think he was the IBF champion, and he had his Mercedes Benz. It was a convertible Mercedes,
Yeah.
maybe '96. I think it was '96, and it was right next to like a Wawa or a convenience store or something. But on the wall it said no parking. He just pulls up, parks his car there, convertible down, like this brand new Mercedes Benz. We're out there talking. He just walks inside. That's how much respect that dude had. And he was just super cool. Like throughout the night, like I'm yelling from up top down to him. And it was just, he was such a nice guy, easy to talk to. Who would have known that he would, you fight in another, 20 years or whatever and become one of the like all-time legends of
Yeah.
boxing.
Yeah, like Philly is such a great place for boxers. Like there's not one boxer that I could say he's a real asshole. I mean like everyone who I've met, like Danny Garcia, a hell of a guy. He'll even talk to you. Even Bernard Hopkins, I met a couple times at different events at local club shows. Who else? Scooter's a great guy. Stephen Fulton Jr., who's now the WBO bantamweight champion of the world right now. Also, Julian J. Rock Williams is a great guy too. Yeah, I mean, like it's just crazy that those guys are able like to put that dog in them, deep in them, and then they're just great people. People when they're not in the ring, it's just awesome.
Well, think about it. Like, it's the only sport that we have our high-level guys, like world champions, that are so accessible to the fans.
Right,
Football's
exactly.
not like that. Basketball's not like that. Baseball's not like that. But boxing, they just come out. We talk to the fans and stuff. Very, very, very. Most boxers are easygoing, nice people.
Mm-hmm.
Boxers get such a bad rap that they're like, they're animals or whatever. But no, 95% of all boxers are just like good dudes. Like,
Yeah.
we're just in a different sport, but really good people.
Of course. So obviously you've had 27 professional fights, but what one in your mind was your favorite memorable fight of all time that just keeps going in your head over and over again? Like, man, that was a hell of a war.
Well, I had 28, but
28, right, with the no contest. Yes.
The one that I had the most would probably be my first win against Jimmy Lang.
Jimmy Lang, okay.
He'd been on the Contender. He had made a bunch of money. Like, he had more knockouts than I had fights. And I heard that they were getting ready to fight Austin Trout for the junior middleweight championship of the world. And then my fight was just like a tune-up fight. And that was probably my most memorable because it was the biggest at that point. And I won on top of it. So it's always cool to win, But I had a lot of really cool fights, throughout my career, wins and losses. Like, all of them have been memorable fights. But that'd probably be the one that I would point to as my most memorable. Okay. Just because nobody picked me to win. Like,
yeah,
nobody picked me to win.
I'm actually glad that you chose that because that was actually my next question because, like, I know you've had a couple rematch fights against people, but, when you Google Tony Jenner, that's, like, the most top one that comes up. So I'm actually glad that you gave the background of that, like, that, you were supposed to be a tune-up fight, and then you wound up beating him. So, like, what was that like for match 2? Did he, like, take it real personal, or, like, what was the whole setting like for the rematch of you and Lang Part 2?
I don't know if he took it personal or not, but Lang was like an icon in this area. First off, he was like the biggest attraction on the East Coast for 10 years, 15
Yeah.
years. He did his own promoting at the Patriots Center, and they would have 10,000 people there
Wow. Okay.
every show. Like they were killing it. Like Jimmy Lang was like he kept boxing alive in this area because he would do those big shows and he would give the people on the undercard a chance to fight. So I'd fought on his undercard 3 times and then I fought him twice in the main event. But no, like it was definitely a memorable fight and nobody picked me to win and I won. The second one there I don't think there was you know I like Jimmy Lang. I've always looked up to Jimmy Lang, so I never was like, oh, that dude's a dick or whatever. Like
Yeah.
he was always like, he was who he was, but I still liked him.
Okay. Cool. And then for those that don't know, I mean, like, of course, we get a lot of Philly people that view this, and also people like in the West Coast as well. But what are some of the belts that you have won in your career and all?
Well, I pulled them out from
Oh, okay, perfect.
on the floor in my dining room. I got them because I won the WBC FECA box
Okay.
championship. I won the UBO All Americas title.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I won the NABF USA title.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah,
that's cool.
I won the Virginia State Championship too, but yeah, I mean it was cool. I mean, I think most fighters in boxing want to win belts. Like it like goes hand in hand with boxing. Even in amateurs now, you want to win like national titles, state titles, and stuff like that. So I'm thankful that I was able to win some of the regional titles.
Yeah, no, I mean, the greatest thing about belts too is that no one's ever gonna take them away for you, and they are nice pieces to have in your future man cave too,
Yeah,
to have hanging up.
I definitely gotta get them off the floor in my dining room. Yeah, I got all my trophies out in my garage, like my amateur medals and stuff. And I got my belts. So I have one picture of boxing. It's not even up. Me boxing. I don't have any pictures or anything.
Okay.
So if I ever do get a man cave, I will have to decorate it with, all my boxing feats.
Oh yes, yeah, that is a must for sure. So when you made the transition from, or did you do shows while you were a professional fighter too? So what made you want to become a boxing promoter?
Well, that's a great story. I definitely promoted Wild Box. Actually, I was the first one. I promoted, match made, and fought the main event on my own car. I did the matchmaking, promoting, and fought. So me and my wife formed Jetter Promotions. In 2008, me and she wasn't my wife at the time. She was my girlfriend, and 2 attorneys formed Better Promotions with a B. And we had 2 fights, lost a shitload of money. Lost a bunch the first show, then came back, lost a bunch second show. And then we took a break from 2008 to 2012. We just did amateur shows, just try to learn how to do it.
Okay.
And a bunch of high-level amateur shows. I had everybody. Antoine Russell was on the Olympic team. He fought on my amateur show against Mike Fox. He was the man.
Okay.
Mike Fox was high level. I had Demond Nicholson. I mean, so many Roach fought on a handful of cards. Mike Reed, like everybody in this area. Lorenzo Simpson, Truck from Upton, like all these guys fought on these cards. So built the experience doing that. And in 2012, I lost to Jose Felix at November of 2011. Sick as a dog, took the L. we got our promoter's license in 2012, just me and my wife, and we formed Jetter Promotions,
Okay.
and I did the rematch against Jose Felix, which people never give me. So that's probably my best fight, because I took the L 2 months earlier and I had the shit kicked out of me. But I'm definitely sick as a dog. But I came back 2 months later and fought him again on a card that I was promoting in my gym. Like, it was crazy. Nobody does that. And I
Yeah.
ended up giving him a unanimous decision. And the rest was history. From there, I kept fighting, promoting, and now I'm just promoting. But I really do like promoting a lot. Boxing, like a lot of in boxing, people go from fighting to training. And I don't really like that. Like, I know how to fight. Like, I had 100 amateur fights, 28 pro fights. Like, but I like putting the fights together, making matches. To me, it's cool. Like, it's fun.
Okay.
I'm not really a big, like, I don't like training people, and that's just not my thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that input on that, because, like, I have a buddy that I go to boxing events with, and no, it's not Nick, the co-host, but so I have a buddy. He doesn't know like what goes in the boxing promoting, where he thinks, like, boxing promoters are leaving out with this check that Bob Arum and what's the other guy, Heyman, or leaving with these big checks and stuff. But, like, they don't realize the full grind for club shows. You're marketing the billboards on 95 and on freeways, selling merchandise, whether you're going to have the program books and stuff at the fights. You got to pay your employees. You need to pay your facility. You also got to get the fighters paid. Like, it's a lot that really goes into it. So it was cool to see, like, you took a couple L's on some of those shows, but then you learned from amateurs, and then you found your love and your niche, and now it's doing really well now. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we've done really well. I mean, throughout my promotional career, I've done well. I've made way more money than I've lost, but I've
Yes.
definitely lost money along the way. Like, anybody promoting is so, especially at a club level. I mean, if you have TV money, you're getting money from, ESPN, Fox, or whatever. You have that upfront money, Showtime, and then if you have the live gate and all, you're good. But a club show, you really got to work club show, because you can lose 30, 20, 40 grand in the blink
Easily.
of an eye. And a lot of people think that they could just promote a show, and that's not how it works. I mean, you really got to know who's selling tickets, who's doing what, how to do it, how to negotiate. Like, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Sure.
So, and you gotta know how to match the fights. I mean, obviously, if you have a guy that's selling tickets, you want him to keep winning.
Right.
Like, that's the one thing that kills me about some of the promoters locally in my area and stuff. Like, dude, you got a guy that's going to sell 100, 200 tickets. Why would you want to get him beat early on? Like, why would you do that? That's so dumb. Like, that guy is generating revenue. You want to keep him winning as he learns and grows. You grow with him, but you don't need to, like, put him in tough right away. It's dumb. It's like the dumbest thing ever. And I see people do that all the time. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
why would you do that? Why would you get your guy picked off?
Yeah. Now, I mean, like, we've been seeing that a lot here with some of the young guys. Like, they're, like, slowly bringing them up and all, which is great. And then now it's just a matter of time whether they get to, like, 10-0. Then they might be knocking at the door of some, like, eliminators and stuff for a belt and all. But yeah, I'm a true believer in starting the guys out slow and all, and also if they're really generating tickets for you, you need to keep it rolling and all. And how many shows have you done total, Tony? At the pro level?
I've 24 to 27.
Oh,
Something like
wow. Okay. Okay.
that. Yeah. Done a bunch. Like, I'm not brand new. We've been doing this for a minute. I've
Yeah.
done them,
Yeah.
and I'm super excited to be in Pennsylvania too, because that just broadens my region that I can promote in. So I am
Yes.
licensed in PA. I've been licensed in VA, DC, and Maryland. So right now I'm currently licensed in Maryland and PA.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, like the pro boxing is super cool. When you do well, it's super gratifying. But when you do bad, it hurts. It
Yes.
stings. It stings to lose, 20 grand or whatever. That's painful.
Yeah. Yeah. And like again, it seems like you're doing great, and it's awesome to see that your wife is helping you with the planning and involvement too. So that's like a family thing. So that is incredible to see it all too. Yeah, for
She's
sure.
she's actually half of Jetter Promotions. She does just like she's actually the other half. So
Oh,
she
okay.
does. Yeah, we actually. I met my wife at the gym. She not used to. She owns the gym, but she had a really. We had the gym that I started training at. She owned, so and that's how we met each other.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
She didn't know anything about boxing, anything. Like they had just purchased the gym, and we've sort of started this journey, and the rest is history. The reason why we started promoting fights was because we were getting sort of snubbed on my local level to get on shows because the people that made up the promoters in my area were they were being they were it was getting tough to get on the shows, and I'm like, why don't we just do our own thing, like,
Right.
like, and that's we were like, all right, get some money together, start a promotional, get our licenses, and start from there. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, my wife is definitely a big part of the company for sure, and she is half of it. We are a LLC, um, and she's wicked smart. She went to UVA, so her business mind is amazing. So
Okay.
I'm lucky to have her.
Awesome. Yeah, I got some beef with UVA because they messed up my bracket a couple years ago in NCAA. Yeah.
Hey,
Um,
they've been killing it in
they
basketball,
have. They
right?
have. Yeah. Yeah, they really upset me because I had them out in the Sweet 16, but they just kept rolling. So I was like, damn. So last weekend, Nick and I had the pleasure, and you have a diamond in the rough. He is a great guy, talking to him and all. And I saw some of his boxing videos and stuff too. Brandon Chambers was a pleasure to have on. He's definitely a guy who's been on a few of your cards recently and all. So April 24th, well, somewhere in Pennsylvania, he's definitely going to be on the card. But what should people expect on that card and all?
I mean, we're gonna have a bunch of good fights, and Chambers is one of my main fighters, and he is super. First of all, he's a good guy, like a
Yeah.
person, and he's an exciting fighter, and he's
At
improved
the Copa.
as time goes on. So, yeah, it's been really he's been really a pleasure to be a part of the team, and I look for him to continue to grow. We're trying to get him 10-0 and see where we go from there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, we're really looking forward to that event and all, and we will 100% be there too to support it and all. Um, okay, so we're gonna get into some fun questions that I have. I'm not gonna tell you who gave us these fun questions, but I'm sure you're gonna know. So the first one is Star Wars for nerds?
Never. Star Wars is amazing. What are you talking about?
No,
Never.
I know it really pained me to ask that, but they knew that you were a big Star Wars guy because I'm a big Star Wars guy too, and yeah, that really pained me to ask that.
That's why you're amazing. You're like an awesome human being because you like Star Wars,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. My next one I have is Tom Brady overrated?
Never, never. He's the GOAT, the greatest quarterback of all time. So the Brady thing. I didn't really like Brady until I'm from PG County. I love the Redskins, but I watched the Brady Six. I don't know when I watched it, 2011, 2000. Whenever I watched it, I became an instant watch that documentary, Brady Six. It just talks about the six quarterbacks picked before him. And in between each quarterback, and he gives a little life story and all about himself and whatever he went through at the time. And I just became a fan. And every fight I had locally, from like when I would watch that video, because it was so inspirational, just like how he like overachieved and met his goals and all. So so I like Tom Brady. I
Well,
wasn't a New England fan. I'm a Tom Brady fan,
all
and,
right.
and he's the greatest of all time.
Well, we only like Tom because of course, Super Bowl 52. So
Hey,
that's the only moment that we like Tom Brady.
y'all should really like Belichick for not putting Malcolm.
I know. Oh my God. Yeah. I still
Y'all
can't
should
believe that he
love
did that.
Belichick. Yeah, y'all should love Belichick. They didn't put their number one cornerback in, and y'all lit him up for like 42 points or whatever it was.
Yes.
Right.
All right. And then I have two more fun ones for you. So they wanted to know what were the best cookies you ever had?
Oh my gosh, the ones at our house in Baltimore City, they were like the greatest cookies ever. I mean, we've had My Mama's Vegan, which is a spot on Greenmount Avenue. They have great cookies. But our house in Baltimore City, they had this little like stand. These cookies, like they were like peanut butter cookies, were like chocolate infused into the cookie. So good. They were like amazing. They were like homemade. So they were like the greatest cookies I've ever had.
All right. Yeah. I'm actually a peanut butter guy, so maybe at the event on the 24th, you could just put them in a bag for me, you know?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, after the pandemic, that place hasn't come back.
Ah, bummer. Okay. And then I have so obviously you were in Philly a couple times, but what is your number one cheesesteak spot in Philly?
We like Luke's
You like Tony Luke's? Okay.
right there. We're right there. We're gonna talk to Tony Luke's soon. Maybe we get Tony Luke's to show some sponsorship, but they're right outside of 2300.
Yes.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
stopped.
What is your go-to? So mine is I guess it might be on the healthy side, but maybe not because it is a cheesesteak. But I go a cheesesteak and it's like broccoli rabe, which is kind of like a spinachy thing, and I have provolone cheese on it. But what is your go to at Tony Luke's?
I went wow. I went with the chicken Philly, and I went
Oh,
with
okay.
the I guess the provolone cheese.
Okay. Yeah, you can't go wrong with a good cheesesteak anywhere in Philly for sure. Well, Tony, it was a pleasure to talk to you, and also getting to know Brandon and all. And I'm sure we're gonna have more fighters that you're gonna have on the card too. And then of course, if you have any type of marketing stuff, leading up to the 24th, please send our way, and we'll keep sharing it on our personal pages, also on our Instagrams and stuff too.
Yeah, well, I have a couple other fighters. So I got Blaze Hernandez,
Okay.
who's 1-0, 1-0-1. I got Ibrahim Jarwi. That's who is 4-0. He should be 5-0. The kid is so good. And we thought we were gonna fight Rasheem Jefferson with him, but we weren't able to make that fight. But he is really good.
Okay.
Fights 26. 126 pounds. So, yeah, I got a bunch of good fighters. Got this kid, Evan Harker. He's not signed to me, but he'll be on the card. So we got Colby Madison, who's a King's Promotions fighter.
Oh, okay, yeah. Marshall Kaufman, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kaufman's awesome. I've known him since the amateurs. So, yeah, so we gotta roll. The card's gonna be stacked. It's gonna be a great card. We're still putting it together right now. But we're really excited. And I thank you for having me on.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, like when I saw that you were doing a show, I mean, like I always want to get to be like friendly and like make connections with other boxing promoters, and like of course you guys are like 2.5 hours away anyway. So I mean, like yeah, I had thought that it would be great to reach out to you, and it's just been nothing but great. I mean, like I feel great to text you at any time, like talking boxing, and like Brandon's been great too. He even sent us some fight swag shirts and stuff to wear on the 24th as well too. So yeah, we're very excited to talk more with the fighters and all, and also we are very excited to come to the show too. Yes.
Yeah, Baltimore. No, Baltimore is actually like an hour and 20 minutes away. It's not that far. If we get from Baltimore to Philly, we made it back fast. So
you guys are probably flying then. I'm not joking.
Yeah, we made it. It wasn't that far. Like it was. I mean, I as a Maryland promoter, I could do shows in that surrounding area: Chester, Philly,
Yeah.
Hanover, York. It's not that far from Baltimore, so my guys from Baltimore can still bring fans up there,
Oh, okay.
which is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, we're really looking forward to the show, and we're looking forward to having more people on. Thank you so much, Tony, for your time, and also enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. Have a great day, and I enjoyed the interview.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.
Have a good one.